Here we go. Who in the hell might be over here? Walk slow, it might be dangerous. Probably should have my gun out, honestly. I have no bullets. It don't even matter. Flowers, and that's a man with a gun, all right.
An old man wearing tracksuit trousers leans on the frame stock of his rifle. He gathers a big ball of spit in his mouth.
The deserter.
Then spits it out into the extinguished fire before him. He raises his black eyes, hooded by creased eyelids, to meet yours. Unclouded by cataracts, his eyesight is sharp.
No shit.
He's practically tearing up from spite. Hatred got the best of him a long time ago. This man hates everything.
Nice gun you got there.
It's not nice. It's a piece of shit. But it gets the job done.
Is that a Bella McGrath?
It's a 3-Angong 446.
A Samurai rifle. How did you get hold of one?
It was sent to us by our brothers in the Sinyao commune. Military aid.
Sinyao commune?
You heard me. It's good now. Like chalk, white from the ball. My eyesight? Yes. Helps me see all the shit.
A shudder of disgust passes his right side. His left side remains motionless.
I did. And you opened it. How?
Fuel the generator?
I should have burned that console down. Reactionary rock and roll music. Playing on the water.
Told you we shouldn't play sad FM.
It was not rock and roll, it was sad FM.
Sad FM, huh? I always hated that station. Phlegmatic, counter-revolutionary dirges. Sadness is a mental illness. A weapon of the bourgeoisie.
You seem sad.
The fascists were right about rock and roll. It is degenerate. Hip gyrating mental illness.
I'm old and angry.
The lieutenant pulls his pistol from the holster.
God damn, Kim.
You are a glorified night watchman. This is a service rifle. I can only lay it down before an enemy commander of corresponding rank.
Authority 8. Let's go.
The words, "I am an enemy commander," sound cold as iron from your lungs. The old man still hugs his gun.
And what rank would that be, dog?
Lieutenant W.
A big wheel
Ooh.
of the 4th Regiment of the Pederast Army. To hell with it. It's a walking stick anyway. It's out of bullets.
Like an amputated limb in the sand.
Who are you?
My name is Josef Lilianovich Dross, Political Commissar of the 114th Anti-Aircraft Division of the 4th Army of the Commune of Revachol. I am a deserter, a partisan, and a prisoner of war. This is my termless surrender.
The commune of Revachol? Do you mean the ICM? You're a holdover from the...
From the Insulindian Citizens Militia.
Oh.
The Army of the Revolution.
So he was a revolutionary
I was
way back when.
Jamrock in 07. Trained in the École de Contrôle Orient. And consigned to emergency defense duties in 08. I left my unit on the eve of the landing. When I returned here on May 14th, the commune had fallen. Still armed, and ideologically trained, I wrote a criticism of myself and resumed partisan duties. 43 years. No. I've been on other islands too.
Oh?
I was an resurrection until they turned it into a spa in 18. Then I was an E-48, a nameless sound, until the sea washed over it. Then I came back here. That was 22 years ago. 43 years and 10 months. It's not how a human being should live. But I had to. I couldn't just forget. I couldn't just forget what I saw.
He just couldn't. He nods, but he can now.
What have you been doing during all this time?
Hiding, fishing, waiting.
Where the afternoon grows late, on Rue de Saint-Gislain, people walk home. Street lights will soon be lit. Further inland, the streets are alive.
This is not what I expected from the shooter.
Children, street hawks, and migrant laborers. The temperature is steady. Alto cumulus clouds form above Precinct 41.
Not at all.
2 police officers step out of the Whirling in Rags cafeteria. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer inspects a series of burnt black letters splashed across the plaza mosaic. Patrol officer Judith Minot points west. The fishing village. She glances at her watch. We meet in 15 minutes. It's a 10-minute walk. The officers go, leaving behind the writing, still smoldering. One day, it says, I will return to your side.
Always waiting. For her to return.
Her who?
Girl, child, revolution.
Huh?
Always.
Is that just the revolution again? Maybe I'm a little confused, but I'm assuming that's just the revolution again.
The material base for an uprising has eroded.
Okay, yeah.
The working class.
Why
has
girl-child
betrayed
revolution?
mankind and themselves. The historic opportunity for a revolution has passed. It will not come back anymore. However hard I try, whatever I do.
What has he done? Perhaps a confession will lighten the load.
Yes, what? To get things going again? Fan the flame?
There is no flame to fan. There is nothing left of the world, of our dreams. I was just 16 years old, 15 when I volunteered. I had a lapse of faith. And of courage, too. You could say I misunderstood the historic role of the proletariat and thought Mazovian socioeconomics were fallible. For a second, I doubted the irreducible laws of historic materialism. A second is all it took for reaction to take hold. Petty bourgeois terror. It's in all men.
I don't know, my guy. You were conscripted at 15.
It's the same thing.
No.
You haven't seen it. Not really. Not naked. It's impossible not to be afraid.
And this was when?
May the 13th, 08. 44 years ago. The horizon was black with coalition airships. Their petroleum rose to the sky, and it looked like it formed the clouds. Storm clouds. When they started shelling, it was dark magic. The combined might of international capital. All at once, all the greed and terror in the world tore into Revachol. It lifted streets from the ground and turned houses into ghosts. We were in the flak tower, huddled on the floor. The artillery was 80 kilometers away in Ozon, but I knew the commune would fall. we would all be turned into ash. So I said I was going to the map room.
A terrible shame, still within it. The lobes of his ears.
Yeah, you know, I won't. I don't blame him. 15 years old or whatever at a goddamn before giant airships bombed. Like he was literally hearing Kirov reporting, flying over him before he bombed to oblivion. I don't blame him one bit.
No. I climbed the chain link across the water and hid inland, in the bunkers there, like the weakest of the weak. A mouse, frightened at the ordnance all night, and the sound of the rotors in the morning, whirring. Airships. I climbed out into hell. The landing was complete. The chain was submerged. I had to swim back. The fortress was half submerged too. Shattered. They'd all drowned in the lower levels, or got torn to shreds above. The anti-aircraft gun had malfunctioned. So had I. I left them without ideological direction. It was real. I'd seen it. I'd seen it in reality. The mask of humanity fall from capital. It has to take it off to kill everyone, everything you love. All the hope and tenderness in the world. It has to take it off just for 1 second to do the deed.
This is
and then you
far from the kind of person I assumed would be the shooter. And now I have a lot of questions.
The sweetest, most courageous people in the world. You see the fear and power in its eyes. Then you know that the bourgeois are not human.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough, old man.
The old man.
We don't gotta.
Those.
Well, listen, I've been talking politics the entire goddamn game. I just want to know why you shot the guy.
From it.
You know, I just want to know why you shot the guy, man. I'm assuming it was to start a revolution thing over there and get all the union members to go against him. But I gotta ask. The rest of this, like, I get it, but I gotta ask. I can always ask him later. I can always come back and ask him later.
There's nothing serious in this world.
His gaze follows your motions. The rifle feels surprisingly light in your hand. Frame stocked and patched in places with tape and wire. The rifle's in a shabby state, like a crutch that's seen too much travel. Hieroglyphs are embossed into the forearm, made of walnut. On the butt, you see Vespertine writing, burnt into the wood. Triangon, 4.46mm, made in Sinyao.
No one said it has to be a Belnagrave. We were just guessing.
From ballistics, it could easily have been a Triangon, too.
It doesn't matter if it was made in Shanti Shanti. All it has to do is use jacketed ammunition. And it does.
It does, so yeah.
The old man keeps following your motion with his gaze. His right arm twitches suddenly. This looked very much like the murder weapon. It could be used against him to get a confession. In time.
What have you been using this gun
I've
for?
used it for killing people.
Okay.
Here we go. A trail of blood. The lieutenant smells it too.
I don't think he cares.
Killing people?
It's a gun. That's what they're for. You want a moralist euphemism? Defending your family and your property. I haven't done that. I've used it to kill people.
Yeah.
Interesting. During or after the war?
I don't think he's trying to hide anything.
There is no after the war. Class war is never over.
Yeah, old man. I know what you're saying.
Go in straight. No euphemisms. He doesn't like those. No. Be careful now. Slow and steady does it. Make him repeat it first. Don't mess this up. Remember, he wants to tell you. Get personal.
I was about to say, he doesn't look like he gives a shit. Just use that gun to shoot the colonel security contractor guy.
The who now?
He heard you. He just wants to hear you say it. You're in.
The corpse in ceramic armor hanging in the whirling rags. Just shoot him.
Oh, yes. That one. Ugly piece of work, that boy.
Did you kill him?
I am a son of a welder and an officer of the commune of Revachol. I do not collaborate with murderers and pederasts of the liberal regime.
The scent of blood in the air. But what else? There was something you can't remember.
Not a lot of guns around that use military-grade ammunition, are there?
It's a real gun. Not like your little musketeer pistols.
Oh.
I've seen you prance around with
He doesn't
those,
like us. There's
jumping
there's our
hoops for the
problem.
liberals. You look like imbeciles. Why don't you ask them to give you real weapons? Going against automatic rifles with these toy guns. Of course you got those boys killed.
Damn, he saw you. He's watched it happen. So he saw you. Okay, so what? Don't let it divert you.
You didn't handle anything. I watched it happen. You let those fucks rip right into them. Got that girl killed, too.
Oh, shit.
None of those people mean anything to you. The vultures feed on this city, and you prepare the meal for them.
So you watched the fight. Did you like what you saw? The mayhem. It was all your doing, your plan. You got them killed.
You don't know anything.
You know what? You're right. I'm convinced this made the shot. Should we call it?
Dramatically ask, you think we have the murder weapon?
4.46 jacketed ammunition, modified for range. We have it. This is it.
Yeah.
Good. This feels good, doesn't it? Tearing things up like this. When you have the murder weapon, you have the killer.
Murder.
Like a marionette on some invisible string. This pushed him, but not enough. Just a little more.
The ballistic point of the tower. The shot came from this
I
island.
saw you poking around there, looking for evidence. You're damn diligent when it comes to dead fascies. Did you like the view?
You had direct visibility. There are embrasures in the concrete, specifically meant for a top follower to use. And you had a long-range rifle in your possession. You've been here a long time, Mr. Droz. Too long. You need medical aid.
I'm ready to die. I've done my part. Because it's a sniper's nest, you stupid fuck. Radio Gosh is right. You have worms in your brain.
Almost. He almost burst out there. Keep piling arguments. Anything.
What am I forgetting?
Wait, here it comes.
Oh god, that
The
sounds.
goddamn Maybells. The dried Maybells on Clausia's roof.
My head hurts now.
Who cares? There were Maybells in the grass when you got here. And on
Yeah.
Clausia's balcony.
How do you put them there though?
Wait, don't forget the
God.
footprints. The diagonal prints in the dust in
Ow!
the secret space behind Clausia's bedroom. Now they're gonna come up. Yes, ouch. So good it hurts. Those were not modern prints. Maybe don't beat yourself anymore though. You're not immortal.
Yes. But how did he get there? He didn't have a boat. Do you swim?
Damn Maybells. The whole island is turning white with them.
He seems tender suddenly. Nostalgic even. A strange mood swing.
So many this year too. The spring is coming. No, it's already here. Wash the filth away. They blossom on the islets before we fertilize them with our blood. Resurrection was snow white in May before they ruined it.
South, the Bay of Martinez is dotted with little freckles of islets, turning green, with white flowers in white snow.
The coast, too. before they piled their containers on top of it, filled with broken, useless trash for fat-fingered bourgeois children to play with.
You must get around a lot to stay undetected all these years. Do you know any secret paths? Pinball workshops?
I may. Class J. With the victim.
The victim, he says. Yeah, he doesn't see the mercenary guy as a victim whatsoever.
Everything is brands with you individualists. Who cares what brand my shoes are? Sansa? Some shit.
Some
Show me
shit.
the souls, please, Mr. Duras.
Fucking imbecile.
The maker is called Sensorique, and the size is 42 to 44. These are not the unusual horizontal patterned souls you saw in the dust on the floor of the hidden room. They do, however, seem to be about the same size.
The size fits, but not the soul.
Simpler?
Shit!
No. This is another loose thread you will never connect. The lieutenant raises his brow. What are you doing? He's thinking. We almost got him here. Not now. Stop yourself.
People change shoes, detective. It was you. You were there, weren't you? Crawling and whirling in rags. What were you doing? Some kind of reconnaissance? Preparing the scene? Listening in on her?
Why was he in the peephole?
Trying to rack your brains. You're desperate to report something back to your masters. They must have really loved that dead fuck.
The old man stares at his own prints in the ash around the fire. Silence suddenly, some strange process within him. A gush of wind. Seagulls in the distance.
You know who he was. A coalition-trained murderer. Armored and armed. He wasn't human. The blunt end of a hammer. Dripping with blood.
I'm not saying he didn't deserve it.
Beating us to the ground. Moaning with joy. You hounds get so thorough when a company-trained killer dies. I haven't seen you on this coast for 40 years. You know, maybe I should have killed one sooner. Got your attention. Now you stop beating druggies and prostitutes in your basement. Now you come to investigate. Not when they die by the hundreds. Oh, the inhumanity. One paramilitary less in Revachol.
The lieutenant raises his right arm to hush you.
Nah, this is the crustiest old man I've ever spoken to.
Hush. He does not need to be pushed anymore. The ball is rolling.
I had them in my sights. Both of them. Him and the whore. I was breathing with them. In phase. And I pulled the trigger and flew on the air until I landed in his mouth. I didn't think I had a shot like that in me anymore. I did. I saw him kneel there with his mouth full of death, and that stupid look on his face. And his dick still in her.
Yeah.
Nothing. I went to sleep. Next morning there were Maybells everywhere. The world was white, or what's left of it anyway. My last spring here. I knew the fascists would come to avenge their own. And so they did.
Mr. Duras, are you aware you're confessing to murder?
Yes.
All right.
And you were looking at them, the victim and a young woman, having sex, through the scope of your rifle that night, before you shot him?
The old man nods.
Why?
Because that's what they were doing.
I don't understand. Do you, detective? I don't understand this part.
Yeah, why?
I'm always looking.
Are you always looking through the scope of a rifle? I'm just trying to understand.
A rifle scope has the best magnification.
Helps him see all the shit.
He's been here 40 years alone. I'm assuming the dude hasn't got any ass, and so he wants to see some ass.
And if you don't like it,
If it's part of the shit you
then
see.
you pull the trigger.
Yes. Think of it as a form of critique.
Start with when he first saw him. It will give him a chance to ramble.
3 weeks ago, when the rich hag came in on her galley. Her honor guard came in tow.
I mean, Joyce?
Wrinkled up whore.
What's with all these whores and pederasts? Aren't you a communist?
Black sexual morals are a bourgeois ploy. As to pederasty, the party legalized it in '04. My party, not your liberal masters. So don't you sermonize me, you racist shithole.
Hey!
It's still bourgeois when the bourgeois does it.
Hey!
Fiddling with their sexual organs.
I've been the supportive white friend the whole game. Fuck you.
Some strange glandular process takes place in him at the thought, like yeast rising. And anger too, in addition to loneliness.
Moving on.
They moved into a deserted apartment above the roundabout. Radio equipment out for all to see. Reactionary radio playing, sloppy and drunk. I've seen their kind during the landing. Those Occidental and Mesk phalangs weren't conscripts. Boys like us. They were whites. All they know is to destroy and hurt. Barely alive. They like to kill while they're on their drugs. After the landing, in the burning years, I would take shots at them. End them. The worst ones, if I had a bullet to spare. I could see they've returned now to show their real face. The face they don't dare show their bourgeois voters back on Mundi with their families in polyester clothes.
What specifically did you not like?
Them. Fucking. I didn't like that.
Okay, well, why?
Jealousy is a reactionary concept. I didn't like the Reaver enjoying himself. Drugged out, soothed in the arms of a young woman. I wanted him to die so he could not enjoy life anymore.
Finally.
And I wanted to see his head explode. That too. She should know better than to hold a child murderer between her thighs. I knew he'd be there for one more second, writhing. That's all it takes for the bullet to reach his head. Now that I think of it, I wasn't aiming for his mouth. I wanted his brains to spill out on her. But you can't have everything.
This man has seen past her, like you did. And now he longs to see her covered in blood. To punish her.
There's nothing to hold on to.
You want feelings for the
Only
woman?
this. It's not enough.
The coals of his eyes glisten suddenly, like stones dripping with water. Is he crying?
Man needs to feel something else. In this fight, it helps if you have your eye on something there. It's weakness, I know.
So she kind of, I guess, her being around kind of kept him going a little bit, kind of stirred his emotional, like, drive to keep going on. And then he saw big murderer guy banging her, and he's like, that's it? No, no, no.
Yes, over the years. It's not unproletarian to feel something.
It's not unproletarian to feel something. What a line.
No. I don't really know. I was there one night and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room on the floor. like she does sometimes. The day after I killed him. Yes. I don't know why I do the things I do anymore.
It's as if something put the thought there to leave the flowers.
It sounds like you want to console her, yeah.
Maybe. I have these.
He's just kind of fucked up, but
in my brain now. I wouldn't just sit here waiting for you.
A sudden pang of rage.
If you came 10 years ago, I would have killed you.
In the silence, the lieutenant draws a line in his notes. One more down.
How long have you been watching?
Since she came to Martinez. I saw her sneaking in the reeds early in the morning, behind the Fell building. It was dark, still winter. She didn't have her skimpy outfit on then, just a spot in the night, moving.
Past the Fell building on the coast? What was she doing there?
Hiding something in the water. She had a fag after she'd done it. I was up in the ruins there.
A cigarette.
She could see me,
I was like,
but I was there, smoking. She was nervous, but not scared.
caught me off guard, that one.
And beautiful.
That, too.
How could you see what she looked like? You said it was dark.
The sun came up. Her hair was like cobwebs. She smoked more fags and snorted a line of whatever shit she was on right there. She needed it just to move. Her passport and tickets to Villiers. And from there to Cachet Brut. Yes, after she'd gone. It was a submersible. Well made, actually.
Sloppy. We should have gotten her to tell us about this. Did you take the documents?
No, I put them back. Why would I take them? I'm not going to phone. Oh, I mean, I did. She
Keep
had a
watching
face
her.
like an archipelago, with those birthmarks, and a body hard and lean and bruised all over, black and yellow. I could see she's taken a beating. I could see who she was, too. A spook, on the run. Revachol's the cloaca of capital now. All the bagmen and arms dealers end up here to do drugs and have sex like animals.
You could tell she was a spook from the documents?
She had different color hair on the photo, and glasses. Forged. Some sordid bourgeois affair. I've heard about this kind of thing on the radio.
How did you see all this, the bruises that she was beaten?
I'm not blind, am I?
How does he know those minute details about her body? He was in the peephole. Yeah.
It quickly comes to you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Cutting those drugs of hers into little lines with a knife. Masturbating.
Oh, dear.
Everything in him fills with impossible longing, all at once.
I like how even the writers of this game, the extremely communist, self-imposed communists of the devs of this game, still make their communist end person a shitbag. That's some real what is it? Real depth there. Some good job there. They make the final guy a crusty old creep.
Did you make that hole?
I'm sorry.
With a clip point knife.
Ew.
Good for listening in, too. For hearing the moaning and the snorts.
Yeah, I know it's been like 40 years without any kind of sex or nothing, but yeah.
Like that,
Means
too.
nothing.
Yes. Bending like a bow against the glass. I've been through all of Martinez. Every nook and cranny. Yes, that too. The things they did in that little room. What she'd do to feel good. Funny, the way light works. You turn it on inside, and it gets so dark out, you can't see a man looking in. I learned that in the 20s, when they were still hunting me. I've seen people do some shit, but...
You hear the familiar scribble of the lieutenant's pen.
Kim, you don't
A
really
quick
need to take
glance
notes
at
about
you.
this one.
One more loose end down. We're doing this, detective.
How did you get in there? The hidden pinball workshop.
I can just walk in the hostel now after a good wash. They all think I'm an antisocial, a vagrant. Closing hour is a good time. The kitchen's empty then.
I'm actually very curious if he is a character in the hostel in like day 1 through 3, and he's just chilling or something, or there at a certain time of the night, and I just don't see him. That'd be awesome.
You had to open the steel door in the kitchen? How?
I got that open a long time ago. Some bourgeois game merchant lived there. I don't know, 15 years ago. He left spare keys all over, and I took one. Then I saw her turn the light on one night in my scope.
Andy found use for it. A spare key, like the one hanging behind the Union Box window.
One more thing. The flowers, Mr. Dross. The dried flowers that were on the roof.
What about them?
Did you leave them?
I did. I shouldn't have. It was a mistake. I was there one night, and she was crying, like a child, in the corner of her room, on the floor. I'd never seen her do that before. The day after I killed her.
Oh, we already been through this.
It's as if something put the thought there.
Maybe
A sudden.
if you came...
Yeah, we already talked about
One
this.
more down.
She practically breastfed that man. You wouldn't believe the things she let him do to her.
Yeah.
You stare at them too. In your mind, her innocence day still turns to leaf. Airport bag in hand. Silks flowing in her wake.
This has nothing to do with that Inland Empire.
It's no good, Harry. Her voice rings in the evening air. It smells of burning buildings.
I hate women too, you know?
You're delusional. There's nothing to see in the soul of the bourgeois woman. It's the same as the surface. Sick hedonism and desperation.
I'm not like that. I don't think that.
No one gives a shit what you think.
No.
You and your cronies kill 10 working-class men a day. I've heard the statistics on Channel 8. Her.
The lieutenant nods at you in acknowledgement. That's it. Motive.
There it
We
is.
have it.
Where is she, that Clasier? I haven't seen her there for days.
I'll just tell him the truth. She got away.
Good for her. That girl kept staring into the scope, you know. In the end, this last week, kept staring at the island. At night, crying or smoking on the roof. Like she knew I was here. It doesn't matter.
Midtown, across the Bay of Revachol, the oceanic wind washes 40-story towers. Above them, Lucerne Central Aerodrome, a cocoon suspended in the sky by a web of suspension wiring, encircled by hybrid aircraft. On the platform, a young woman is withdrawing from amphetamines, barbiturates, and alcohol. Yet still, she smiles among the crowd, among the great ghosts of the city she's leaving, for another, far south.
Well, good for her, I guess.
Smaller, distant, hidden, not like the great chandelier she sees sparkle in the night below her. Streetlights, towers, tenements, and water, and across it, a dark strip of ruins, barely visible, if she didn't squint her eyes. There, on a dilapidated jetty, in a nameless village, 2 police officers and 1 special consultant look across a narrow strip of sea. The ruins of a seafort stick out of the water, built by Philippe II, reappropriated by the Commune, then lost in the landing. He's there, Doing what exactly, I don't know. Satellite Officer Vic Mayer points at the ruins. Behind that anti-aircraft something. That's why we can't see him. Special Consultant Heidelstein is optimistic. We'll see the boat when he comes. Let's go get a coffee until then. I know this interesting little place. Where? His voice trails off as the three walk down the jetty. As the men go, Patrol Officer Minnow looks back over her shoulder at the crumbling fortification like a rotten tooth rising out of the water. Good luck, Harry, she thinks. You need something good for this.
We could get more. We've got him talking.
You could get more out of him. He likes talking. Enough. Take him in. Bend his arms behind his back and end this.
Anything else? Looking at anything else you haven't liked?
Tragic comedy. Druggies, prostitutes, and rentiers.
More specifically?
Specifically, the whole city is a charnel house. Stripped clean and draped in neon. But Martinez is the worst. Because of the racists. Everyone is a racist in Martinez. It's their favorite thing to do in the whole world.
He's not wrong about that one.
Race-themed radio shows. In the ruins. In their lorries.
Oh, well, maybe if the ravages of Al Ghul didn't affect you so heavily.
Pumped full of steroids and Radio Revachol 92. Race this, race that. It's all sanctioned by that Social Democratic Union and the farce of a Social Democrat who runs it. Yes, the fly larva in his container. He let some nihilistic advertising yuppies erect a statue of Philippe III, a syphilitic murderer, on the town square, to spit on the working class.
Wasn't it a parody, though?
Not since the serfs of ancient Pericarnassus has history produced a more inert social class than the Martinez proletariat. The rest of Revachol at least pretends to rebuild. These people still live in ruins. In tents, like animals. Like those boom-boom morons on the ice. Pity they didn't drown in that tent of theirs. The worst of them is the blood-drenched Sucrion on her yacht, licking her lips. The old whore's gone now. Her gun-toting porcelain men are dead. So, actually, no. The worst is that old cop parading around in his uniform, throwing balls all day.
I was about to say, whatever happened to Renee? I assumed he would hate Renee the most.
The old loyalist ghouls still parade the ruins.
I was about to say, like, it would have to be Renee.
Every morning he's there, while the parasites he fought to protect are off in Ozon, or Koyamoran, or some other island they built their palaces on, feeding on drugs and having sex with their own children.
Oh, holy Jesus, okay.
That's all the rich really want. Sex with their own children. Throughout history, even the royal bloodline.
You lost me. You lost me.
It's all just an excuse for them to have sordid sex.
You lost me.
At least that old cunt, Frisell, is now dead.
Good God. All right, he's lost me. He's lost me. You know, oh, Jesus. He's got the island brain rot.
We did good when we pushed him under the horse car. Until, in the 30s, those disco whores.
The disco whores are too much. Hatred shuts
those
down
damn
brain's
disco whores.
Leave it only a nonsensical sputter. Ask about that cock on parade, too. Make sure you get everything here.
Whores.
Okay.
Another hideous disappointment. Unions are the real enemy. The true enemy of the proletariat. Placating the masses. That deformed toad? I wouldn't expect him to wipe his own ass. I mean, the brains of the operation. the smart one. That mobster Toad couldn't run a shithouse. He has no political education. His twin, Edgar Clare, that one's been to one of those East Revachol universities. He talks a big game about uprising and alienation and so on.
He's been sweet-talked by this Edgar. They must have met in person for such animosity to have developed.
You can't live alone.
The Clares wouldn't miss a man hidden in their own backyard. Not all this time.
No.
Nothing happens in Martinez without them knowing.
Though I would assume that they would have at least given us that as an option for the shooter.
Don't go straight for the kill. Exhaust everything else first. Soften him up.
I haven't approached anyone. I hid. It was Edgar who came to me.
Edgar, not
How
Evart.
did he know you were here?
He didn't just stumble in like an oaf. He figured it out. Some kids told him about a monster on the island. I told you, he has brains. I was right
Oops.
about one
Shit.
of those things.
Stepped right off the boat and walked down where you came. I even kept the door open for him. Thought he was a man on the left. Wouldn't rat me out. Okay. Whoops. I was right about one of those things.
20 years ago, neither of them could walk now, could they? They were less fat then. Edgar did the talking. Paid his respects like I were a fossil in a uniform. Offered platitudes about the struggle. Flaunted his pink degree. Even quoted Marzov. Never trust a social democrat who quotes Marzov. Oh, and charity too. They love their charity. Offered me blankets and social housing. I still have the gas cooker he brought.
That reminds me of an old BioShock statement. Frank Fontaine's old thing where he's like, it's like, I give these boys like clothes and a bowl of soup and they give me their lives. Who needs an army when you've got Fontaine's Home for the Poor?
Let me be here. The ZOC is an unlawful successor of the Commune of Revachol. We took this fortification from the Loyalists. Even the Clares understand this.
Did you kill the Krenel mercenary for the Clares to incite a riot?
You know why I killed that fucker.
I was about to
twat.
say, no, he didn't.
As to Edgar, I'm not doing anything for that swine again.
He killed him because he didn't like him and the woman together.
Again? What have you done for Edgar before?
Tried teaching him some Marzovian socioeconomics.
Jeez.
They didn't stick. We parted ways.
All right, I'm not even going to attempt this. I lied.
Oh no, the connection doesn't come to Dumbo. Do something.
Dumbo.
You can't zone out now. This isn't Doodaloo dance time. Slap yourself in the head again. Jumpstart it.
Sling with the Union Boss.
Officer.
The lieutenant watches you beat yourself in the head again the second time in the interview.
Mr. Dross, about this deal you made.
I love the
with
sound
Edgar.
effect.
The death of the Krenel mercenary was only coincidentally beneficial to the Clares. But what about the other people you've killed for them?
Other people?
Like the previous 4 women of the Union.
That's it. That's what you weren't connecting yourself.
Thanks, Kim.
I didn't fight 40 years to end up an informant for the international regime. What happened, happened.
Still dumb. Your eyes are transfixed on his digit. It's yellow with nicotine. You are the law. He must divulge the information.
Look who's up. From the drunken stupor. This one's worse for wear than me. Emotionally frayed. Life is hard for us human beings in deregulation hell, isn't it?
We will have plenty of time to talk about this later, Mr. Dross. When you're in pre-detention. It can take years in pre-detention.
Go ahead. I've been in solitary confinement my whole life.
Ease off it. This was not an unmitigated disaster. The lieutenant mitigated it. Just proceed. Calmly.
By the cock parading. Yeah, you mean Renee.
Every fucking morning for 34 years. Throwing that ball. One ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. That is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Royalist ghouls played like it was life itself. Click, clack across the water each day. And that uniform, like a parrot plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race. A Patank maniac race traitor. I remember him. I remember him from La Noce. Not him personally, his make and model. There were tens of thousands of them. I thought we took them all out before the liberals came to their rescue. We missed one, that one.
Surprised you didn't shoot him.
There doesn't seem to be a single person under the pine today. Not even Gaston, alone.
Fat and plump, like a pheasant. Just begging to be popped off. Please, Mr. Dross, shoot me.
He whispers with such predatory hunger. It borders on longing.
Not yet. I like to look at him strut around, place the crosshair on his medals, right on his face, and just fiddle the trigger. Think about it. Let the bomb melt in my mouth.
Save the treat for later?
The lieutenant asked cheerfully.
He is a juicy bonbon, that one. A real treat for the black day. The blackest. When I put that gun in my own mouth, I think, no, don't waste it. Put this lead in that cock, René. For the boys he killed. And then I look at him throw those balls, and I suddenly feel better. I even hid one bullet, so I'd always have one for him. Haven't seen him around lately, strutting around. Must be down with arthritis. I hope it hurts like hell. I hope he sweats blood.
Hearing it may destabilize him. You sure you've gotten everything from him?
I kind of want to tell him. I don't think there's anything else I need from him. I've gotten everything. Motive, method. Fuck it. I'm telling him.
No.
Yes.
I waited too long. I waited too long and now he's dead?
I'm sorry, Mr. Dross. I understand you knew him for a long time.
Oh, Kim, you shithead.
They're all dead now. Fuck it. All human beings care about each other. I cared for seeing his head explode. And now, God damn this world.
He reminded him of himself. The same hatred. The same. You try to think of something else, but no. It's just hatred.
You think I haven't seen people die? It's all I've seen them do. Fuck and die. All the other plans we had. To love. To colonize the Pale. It's all fuck.
Colonize the Pale, Jesus.
He's not okay. This is just another black day. In a row of black days.
Glad we talked about what?
Alright, it's time. Josef Leonovich Dross. You're under arrest for the murder of the Krenel Colonel here in Martinaise.
What? But you said I would be taken to the...
The wind picks up.
To the
silence
what?
On the water is broken all around you. Little shivers of waves appear. The lieutenant continues, like an incantation.
Your Wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand?
Ah, the Revacholian rights.
Do you understand?
But
what?
no, I don't want to. I have to stay here.
Submersion growing terror.
He is a brave man. Why is he unraveling?
Yeah, why is he? Why does he care? He was just fine with solitary.
He's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead.
He just stated solitary. He didn't care.
Pupils are dilated too. Eyes getting blacker and blacker.
Your confirmation is not required, sir. Now on to the boat.